Anyway, hey, we're back, and I'm using this camera. I can use it this way better sometimes. Anyway, it's easy to get a hold of. This is a picture of a box, okay? It's a vegetable or fruit box, okay? What you do, you take this box and use it for a little spade booth. And you can put your project right in here, put it outside on the porch, and it protects it from wind and spray overspray from your spray. Anyway, put it in here, spray your part, let it rest, dry 10, 15, 20 minutes. Use gloves, turn it around on the part so you get good coverage both sides, or all 6 sides of this project size. Anything can be from any kind of a little regular project box, something like this. Go right in there, flip it over, be sure to get both sides of that device well covered. Okay? That's how you start that out. Okay, here we are again, sitting in front of my bench. Now, as I pan across the desk, you can see it is not very big. It's about 3 feet by 12 inch deep by about 16 inches high. And I have this desk, and I have shelf above, and this is at one end of my bedroom. It's a tiny apartment. I have no extra rooms, and I can make do in almost any space. If I can do, anyone can. I make very good quality electronics, mostly from Mr. Carlson's lab, so that my main point that you can make useful and look very good looking and work well for projects. And the most important thing is a place where your projects will not disturb and you have good lighting. And you can see I put LEDs underneath the shelves, and that really gives me light all over the place. I can see the equipment, read the readouts, and set up all the tools at hand, screwdrivers, tweezers, cleaning tools, set up for the soldering station. That's a solder sucker and a hot air blower, and that's a dim bulb transformer. You can see the bulb switches there, and a rack of pliers, DMMs, and all the cleaning fluids and things, and glue and things like that. Anyway, that is what a good place to work, and I'll show you the rest of the things that I do for doing the setting up and paint and graphics. Okay, we're outside in the sun. Anyway, it's a perfect day for very commonest part of the world this time of year. Anyway, this is what they look like in a spray box. I call it a spray box. You can call it a spray booth, blocking all the light. I can't see it, but anyway, they come out pretty good. Good coating. Anyway, let that dry for about 20 minutes, half hour, and then I'll be done. Now, these are a few of the projects I've worked on. This is the blue one right there is a signal injector, and I had a box. I got a really good deal on that. Put that in. It's powered. I have a 14-volt wall wart plugged into the back of that. Anyway, this is the capacitor test drainer, not tester to drain it. If they're charged, you drain that off. My first super probe. That's the graphics. Mr. Carlson's kind of homage to that. The graphics on the end for the probe and the speaker. If I can get that into focus. Speaker, there you go. Anyway, this is a speaker, external speaker, a bit of a outdoor junction box you get for $1.30 or something like that. Drill holes in that and
a speaker in there and wired up. Run a RCA cable from here to here, and we're good for this. This is a outside foil tester. I'll put graphics on this just to label it, and of course this is the capacitor, low voltage capacitor leakage tester, and a magic eye. And also up here we have a low voltage tester. See that? Yeah, that's the power for the thing, and this turns on. Anyway, you can see the LED there for power. Anyway, and this is another super probe with a speaker at the top. You can see the outlet of the speaker there. There's the probe goes in there. There's a probe right there. I make these probes. Make these out of aluminum tube, and some parts on a lathe. Anyway, that's what we'll be up into also. Some of these other projects that I've directed. Also, look up here. This up here, the push buttons and the graphics, I put all those in the kind of magic to the Tektronix. Anyway, that worked out pretty good also.
Okay, back at the bench. Anyway, this is a project box for a probe, Mr. Carlson's box project. It's a Hammond 1590A project box, and I have drilled it for BNC, the power cord, a switch, and a light. Anyway, the way to get this ready, I never painted this thing before. I put this together some time ago. Anyway, I'm doing this project because people wondered, how do you do that? Anyway, I'm cleaning the box before anything. You get a good scuff on it. See how much brighter it gets, shininess to it. That's dull, and you give that this kind of dull powdery stuff from the aluminum alloy in these boxes. Anyway, and when you do this LED I put in there, and it's super glued in there, and I don't want to. They're $1.50 at each. So I'm gonna tape this off around there. Now I'm gonna take this and wash it with hot water and soap, and clean off with paper towel. Anyway, I scuffed it all up pretty good. This is a Scotch Brite, 3M Scotch Brite, and this is the gray stuff. It's a kind of fine, and they're really good for scuffing up for the PCBs, also for before you print those for etching. Anyway, that's about that. Gloves, I wear these because I can't black or blue ones anymore. COVID is, and these are 25 bucks. These are 25 cents a piece, which is madness, so I'm using these over. Anyway, I'll go back, wash this with soap and water, detergent, and I'll hit it with either alcohol or my probably lacquer thinner, and I'll clean up with that. Do that outside, and drag the camera outside. Anyway, and then I'll paint this, and I pointed out the spray box booth that I use for a big box, cardboard box, keep the spray from going all over the place and contain this thing. All right, that's what we're up to. Okay, we're back at the screen here. This is the graphics program I have. It's AutoCAD. Any graphics program will work if you can, lay out the size and the graphics. You can decide what kind of, graphics you want. You can zoom in on this. I can lay this out. This is the exact size of this box I have, and then the layout for this graphics is for that exact injector from Mr. Carlson's lab. Anyway, just one way you can lay that out. This is the layout for the magic eye tube, and I laid this out. This is the exact size of that box, and so that's the important thing, is to lay out these to the size, the layout for the different project boxes. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do now. I'll come back and I get the layout for this box and I'll set it up. Alright? Anyway, we're back. Anyway, that's pretty much what we did, is we lay that out. And some of the lines, they don't print. And then you get a look at this, and I print this out so you can see what it looks like. And you cut it out and set it up next to you know, the test device. You want to have lay it out so it'll lay it up there. Cut it off. Anyway, I'll cut it in a minute and show you how to do that. Anyway, that's what I'm working with. I'm bumping this thing, the tripod's kind of in the way. Anyway, you can use any program that will do, you know, print on a laser printer, and you can affect the different type of fonts and the size. Cut it, print it out, cut it to fit, make sure it fits, and we'll print them out. Once everything the right size we want, we will print these out on the paper. Okay, we're back. Anyway, these are the shipping labels, they call them. They're Avery brand. Okay, 15665, which is 8.5 by 11. It's a full sheet. That way, what I do is I've added some to this actually. Put a bunch of graphics on this sheet. So as you can see, a lot of these are for different projects. Okay, I've been putting off doing these labels for a while, and what I'm gonna do, because John Barron III requested on Mr. Carlson's Patreon deal. I've had this outside foil tester for some time. You turn this, there's a switch to there's a battery in there, and it goes back and forth. You can probably see it flipping back and forth, and the blue LED flips on both sides. Anyway, telling which side is active on the DUT device under test, the capacitor. BNC out to the oscilloscope over here, and you can see when you induce some noise into the capacitor, this will switch both sides of the capacitor, let you know which has more noise on it, on that channel, and then you can mark these for capacitors. Anyway, what I plan to do is to label this thing. I've got the page that I've tested out. It's this is going to be the foil and tester, the active probe. I painted that, and you have to wait a day at least. Let that paint dry up nice and hard, so you can lay these sticker labels on there and not muss anything and scratch the paint. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to print this one here. This right here is the Mr. Carlson's active lot, or the outside foil end tester. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I'll print that out, and then I'll come back and show you how easy it is just to peel and sign it up, or you know, size it up, which I've done. Now adjust it for center and centering, and then off to the races we go. All right, and we're back. Anyway, this recording device is not the best I've seen YouTubers usually get. Anyway, I got little parts all over the place from taking apart the active probe, so the way that is done. Anyway, what I've done, I've printed this out on the Avery labeling paper, and what I do, I cut it out. See these lines where there breaks in the back of the paper, and peel that off, and it's sticky, very sticky stuff. So hit him with some scissors right up to the edge. Now this is for the oscilloscope output for this outside foil tester. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off pretty close to the edge, and I'm going to get some little tweezers to help me align this up. Get this up real close to the top, so I don't want a lot of extra, you know, fuzz, this and that. Anyway, I'm going to pay this off the edge. There's an edge right here. I grab that edge and boom, or I'm off to the races. Now what I'm going to do is grip this with some tweezers so I can cut it where I want and kind of hold on to it a lot better to trim this off. It's alright to cut a little extra less. I'll drop this wrong on the carpet and I'll be really upset. Anyway, and trim this corner off. You can't see very well right now because the zoom on this thing, but it is, the way to do this is kind of censor this little guy right over the part you want. Just turn it on. Anyway, I'm going to set this right as close to level of what I want. And you have to be kind of careful. And you push it on. Oscilloscope. And you can take some kind of a buffer, or like a stick or something you can rub in. I use the plastic end of the X-Acto or any other plastic end. Anyway, that's on there. Now the next one, what I've got, the way this is, I've got these LEDs drawn in here. I'm going to use those to line this up right on the center there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the off on. I just sleeve that off, snip that off, and I can see where I peel this blacking off, and I get up here and I cut it as close as I can get it, and then I'll grab it with the tweezers again, pick off the other side, the tape, backing tape, trim this right up close to the edge like that. And I'll get around with another pair of tweezers so I can trim off the other side. That way with the tweezer it won't leave any fingerprints or anything like that when you're handling this thing. This is off on switch. We'll just lay up here right here. On off. On off. And then rub that down. And that'll kind of emboss, kind of buries itself right into the paint, and you can't really see it very well. I mean, you can see it, of course, but at least you can see what you've done. Anyway, that's the easiest part, is the big parts, or the small parts, I should say. When you got a bunch of things to lay out here, be careful. You can lay some tape for a guide. Anyway, I've got all the way from this side. I'm not going to cut. I'm going to cut this off a bunch of this paper before I get a hold of get after it with the tweezers again. I'm going to cut this right here, about like that, and then this guy, peel this guy off. Grab it a little bit with the backing tape. You can kind of reposition it on the wrong side. Alright, on there, it sticks on there. Wrap this with the tweezers again. Don't let that rip around on you now. I just did there. Twisted up on me. Not good production values here. Anyway, get the idea. Crooked here. Reposition this if we can a little bit better, okay? Pull this up. And roll this out. Piece of metal. Now, I'm going to probably take see, we're a little crooked. Lay this down as straight as we can get on there. And you pull it up a couple times before it'll. If you've got this on straight, you can pull it up a little bit. Sometimes you cut off a little bit more. Get rid of that guy. Okay. Anyway, pretty straight. That's a little crooked. I will probably pull it off and do that over, but we're in front of the time constrictions here. Watch, I can even pull this up a second time if need to. Position it a little bit better.